This story is based on a true incident involving a pizza delivery boy. This incident happened with John during his college days when he was working part-time at a small pizza shop. One night, around 1 a.m., just as John was about to finish his shift and head home, the phone in the pizza shop suddenly rang. When John answered the phone, a man with a trembling voice placed an order. At first, John thought of refusing the order because the pizza shop had already closed. However, when the man ordered 4 large-sized pizzas, John took the order because bigger orders often came with a good tip, and he needed the money. John quickly grabbed the pizzas and set off for the delivery. The delivery address was far away from the pizza shop, located in the outskirts of the city. It was late at night, and the road was deserted. There were numerous wild trees and plants on both sides, and there were no street lights, making it pitch dark. After driving for a while, John reached the address. He stood in front of a very old and strange-looking house. The house was inside a forested area, and no lights were on in that house. In fact, there was no sign of any activity around. It seemed as if the house had been abandoned for years and no one lived there. Seeing the house, John felt a little nervous, so he called his manager. He wanted to explain the situation and return from there, but his manager didn't pick up the phone. If John had returned without informing the manager and taking back the 4 pizzas, his manager would have been very angry and deducted his salary. So even though he repeatedly called his manager and received no response, he decided to give the delivery a try. As soon as John stepped forward, a light inside the house turned on. He gained a little confidence that maybe someone was inside. He rang the doorbell and said loudly, "Pizza delivery!" But no one opened the door for a while. John rang the bell again. He heard footsteps from inside, but still, no one opened the door. Just as John was about to leave, the door opened on its own. John, feeling a bit anxious, entered the house. A dim light was on in the hallway, and there was no one there. John called out, "Hello? Is anyone there? Please take your pizza, sir." Just then, John noticed a black cat emerging from under the couch in the hall and running towards a room. As soon as the cat entered that room, the lights and TV turned on. Along with that, he started hearing mischievous laughter and sounds of children playing. John thought someone might be playing a prank on him. Angrily, he walked into the room. There, he saw 2 little girls. Both of them were sitting on the bed, staring at John in a strange way. John began telling them that he had been ringing the doorbell for a while, but they didn't open the door. He was getting frustrated, but they remained seated, silently staring at him. John then said, "I've come to deliver a visa, and I need to collect payment from someone important in your house." Suddenly, the color drained from the girls' eyes, and their silence turned into a menacing laughter. They gestured towards the door of that room, which was right behind John. He hesitantly turned around and was startled. He dropped all 4 pizza boxes he was holding, because right in front of him was a terrifying lady with no eyes and mouth stick. John trembled in fear as he managed to run towards his bike. He saw the shadow of that woman and the 2 girls watching him from the doorstep of the house as he left. John wasn't far when he felt that his bike was malfunctioning. He started hearing a scraping sound, and the bike came to a halt. Panicked, John called the police and asked for help immediately. He started looking around, and suddenly his gaze fell on the rear-view mirror of his bike. Upon seeing it, his legs gave way beneath him. Behind the bike, there was the shadow of that woman and the 2 girls. They were slowly moving towards John. In a state of panic, John left the bike there and started running towards the forest. Exhausted from running, he found refuge behind a large tree and began praying for his life. After a few moments, he heard the distant sound of police sirens, which gave him the courage to slowly make his way back to his bike. When he reached his bike, he saw the police investigating it. He told them everything and led them to that house. The police entered the house and conducted a thorough search but found no one except a wildcat. The next morning, John learned that the house had been vacant for the past 3 years. Furthermore, 3 years ago, a woman and her 2 young daughters used to live there, but one day they were mysteriously murdered. Learning this, John was stunned. He realized that the people he saw that day were the same individuals he encountered during his visit to the house. And from that day onwards, John never dared to venture near that haunted house area ever again.